What's going on, y'all? Look at me. Got that vote or die, huh? Crispy vote or die. Hide the tag. I ain't popped the tag because I might end up trying to resell that. Diddy, holla at me if you still, need some more vote or die shirts. I actually still got some in stash from like 15 years ago, huh? Welcome to another Rhetty TV episode. Now, this episode is going to be a little different. It's going to be a little special. I'm calling this the Politics Special Edition. Rhetty TV's Politics Special Edition, something like that. On June 12th, I posted something on Instagram and Facebook and basically saying how in my county and in my state, we had an election coming up on July 7th and I knew nothing about 90% of the candidates. Obviously, that's an issue. So on that day, I challenged myself to be more engaged, be more active, try to learn as much as I can, not only just about the potential candidates, but also just about the politic process and Congress and legislators and branches and, House of Representatives, like all of that stuff. I'm sure Ms. Claret probably be disappointed in me because I know she taught me all of this in 7th grade social studies class. But it's been a while, and I admit I never really had interest in politics and all of that jazz. When I first got out of college and I was interning with Bad Boy, this was actually the first time I was like that deep into politics, running around trying to get people to register to vote. Like Puff literally had a bunch of college kids just out there grinding and had us really motivated for the whole election that year. So I'm bringing that energy back. Got the vote or die shirt on, and I went in, y'all. I did some homework. I was on Google reading articles after article after article, and stalking people Instagram pages and Facebook pages. I was just putting in work, trying to learn things and understand things. So I'm putting this video together. This is going to be a 2-part episode. I need y'all to bear with me. This video is only for the beginners like me. All right. If you're a beginner and you just trying to figure out the politics and understand it and all that, then this video is you. We could take the walk together. This is Politics 101, Part 1. Let's get it. Now, obviously, if you're watching this edition of Rhetty TV, Politics 101, chances are, when you think of power in the United States, you usually think of the president. But technically, that is not true. And in fact, he is only one piece of the power puzzle. And because of the president we have today, thank you, God. When the American Revolution ended in 1783, the United States government was in a state of change. These 3 dudes knew they did not want another country to rule by a king, so they decided to have a strong and fair national government that protected individual freedom and did not abuse its power. First, we're going to put air quotes on fair, and we're going to repeat, protect the individual freedoms and did not abuse its power. Protect the individual freedoms and did not abuse its power. Interesting. In 1787, the structure of the government of the United States called for 3 separate branches, with each having their own powers and a system of checks and balances. Now, this would ensure that no one branch would ever become too powerful because the other branch would always be able to check the power of the other. These branches work together to run the country and set guidelines for all of us to live by. Now, the legislative branch is described in Article 1 of this Constitution. Many people feel that the Founding Fathers put this branch in the document first because they thought it was most important. Interesting. These guys seem so smart, these Founding Fathers, and wonder what took them so long to realize slavery was wrong. All right, moving along. The legislative branch is made up of 100 U.S. senators and 435 representatives, a.k.a. the U.S. Congress. Making laws is the primary function of the legislative branch, but is also responsible for approving federal judges and justices, passing the national budget, and declaring war. Yep. You heard right. Declaring war. Now, each state gets 2 senators and some number of representatives depending on how many people live in that state. This is one reason that people probably push off a census. Now, the executive branch is described in Article 2 of the Constitution, and the leaders of this branch are the president and vice president. Clearly, there was no way I was going to represent the people we have in office today. Shout out to Obama. Now, the vice president and president are responsible for enforcing the laws that the Congress set forth. The president works closely with a group of advisors known as the cabinet, and these cabinet appoint helpers to assist the president in making important decisions with their area expertise, such as defense, the treasury, and homeland security. Defense, the treasury, and homeland security. The executive branch also appoints government officials, command armed forces, and meet with leaders of all nations. Now, clearly, that's a lot of work for a lot of people. So the executive branch employs over 4 million people to get everything done. Now, the third branch of the U.S. government is the judicial branch. And as detailed in Article 3, this branch is made up of all the courts in the land from the federal district courts to the U.S. Supreme Court. These courts interpret our national laws and punish those who break them. The highest court, the Supreme Court, settles disputes amongst states, hear appeals from states, and federal courts to determine if federal laws are constitutional. There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court, and unlike any other job in government, the Supreme Court justices are appointed for life or for as long as they want. All right. Now, like I said, I know that was quick. I want to get through as quick as possible. I know this politics is a boring topic to a lot of people. So hopefully you took enough notes. Hopefully you all caught up. All right. I reside in the state of New Jersey, so it's important for me to figure out who was the Senate. I'm going to be honest, Senate, singular, for the state of New Jersey. And what I found out is that the state of New Jersey actually have 2 Senates, 2 senators. I'm going to be honest, I did not know that. Robert Meneses, I apologize. I did not know since 2006 you was one of the senators for the state of New Jersey. Obviously, I knew Cory Booker. He'd been around since 2013. But again, that is exactly why it was important for me to do this. I voted. I had to vote for Robert Meneses, but didn't even realize it. Now, I noticed there was a Class 1 and a Class 2 next to both Robert and Cory Booker's name. Now, off top, I assume that determined the amount of power you had, the amount of, the type of decisions you can make. But we'll get to that a little later. What I want to show you is the website. And basically on this website, you get to see who are the senators for the state that you live in. Now, obviously, I live in New Jersey. So if I scroll down, look for New Jersey. Well, actually, you can first, I will click this because you can put it in alphabetical order by state. That'll make it a lot easier for you. Look for New Jersey, and there you see Cory Booker and Robert Meneses, and they also showed their Class 1, Class 2, which we'll get into next. Now, what I learned is that in Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution, it requires the Senate to be divided into 3 classes for purposes of elections. Senators are elected to 6-year terms, and every 2 years, the members of one class, approximately 1/3 of the senators, face elections or re-election. Terms for senator in Class 1 expire 2025, Class 2 in 2021, and Class 3 in 2023. So basically, they created a process, first off, where all the senators do not have to, go for re-election at the same time, which makes sense. You don't want all the senators trying to be re-elected the same year. And with that, they created classes so that you knew at what point that senator run or term would expire. So right now, you figure Robert Meneses, his term is Class 1, which means his term will expire in 2025. That means he's been in since 2019. Now, I know you know this. Robert Meneses says 2006 to present, but that just means he's already went several terms and kept getting reelected. So now he's on the Class 1 term, which means he was reelected in 2019. It expires in 2025. He had to go up for reelection. Cory Booker is Class 2, which means he was reelected in 2015, and his expired 2021, which makes sense. That's why he's running now. All right. So great idea. I thought it made a lot of sense. Kudos to the government for figuring that out. So now a House of Representative, Donald Payne Jr., I am familiar with his name. I know, well, I believe his father, they have a school out here named after him. He's our House of Representative. Now, I'm, again, New Jersey. I'm also in District 10. So here is a website that you can use to figure out not only who your House of Representative is, but also you could try to figure out what district you're in so you know who actually represents you. Here, all you have to do is select your state. Again, I'm going to use New Jersey as an example. And first, they'll tell you who your Senate is. And then if you click here, you figure out who the House of Representatives are. All right? And like I said, you figure out what district you're in. I'm District 10. And you can also click the view the district map, and that'll help you figure out what area that each district is, just in case you have a hard time trying to figure out what district is yours. Now, if you notice, we have a total of 12 districts. Now, early in the video, they mentioned how each state has a certain amount of representatives based on the population. So it's easy for me to assume that based on the population in New Jersey, we qualified to have 12 representatives. Now, if you go to a larger state like California, then we can easily assume that, shout out to the two females holding California down, we can easily assume that, yeah, they're going to have way more than 12. Yeah, absolutely. They have 53, right? So, like I said, the larger the state, the larger the population, the more representatives you're likely to have. Donald Payne Jr., he's my representative. He's been in office since 2012. He's up for election this year. All right, so here we have Governor of New Jersey. We have Phil Murphy. I am familiar with Phil Murphy. He was elected 2018 until he up for re-election. I think governor should be a lot easy for every state to figure out. I'm sure, if anything, most people know who their governor is for their state. I'm assuming. If not, I think that's a real simple, easy Google search. Just type in governor, your state, and I'm sure it'll pop up. They may not have a pretty smile picture like my guy Phil over here, but I'm sure they'll pop up. All right, now for New Jersey, obviously, now if you have a governor, you're supposed to have a lieutenant governor. I did not know that. It makes sense, obviously, if you have a president, you're going to have a vice president, but I did not know we had a lieutenant governor. Not only that, I did not know she was a sister. Sheila Oliver. Secretary of State, Taisha Way. I'm hoping I said her name right. It looks like it's pronounced as Taisha. Two sisters holding it down for New Jersey. Again, two positions. I knew Secretary of State existed. I didn't know who held that position. I did not know Lieutenant Governor existed, nor who held the position. Attorney General, you have Gerber Cruel. Sorry if I'm tearing up your name, my brother. Gerber Gruel, and Supreme Court Justice Stuart Rabner. Now, obviously, I knew these positions existed. I had no idea who held them or what they looked like. New Jersey, here you go. These are the guys holding these extremely important positions. When police officers, they don't get charges brought up against them for committing the crimes that they commit, usually these guys have something to do with that. Commissioner of Education, Lamont Rapolit, probably killed his last name, but I am aware that this brother just got a new job over at Keene University as the president. So I'm assuming he will be vacating this position and someone else will be jumping in. So shout out to him. Our district of attorney is Craig Carpenito. Carpenito. I'm going to go with Carpenito. All right. Sorry, Craig, if I tore up your name. Now, district attorney, a.k.a. DA, I'm almost certain this person also has something to do with, if police officers break the law or, murder or kill someone. The DA is responsible for bringing them up on charges or having them arrested. So, Jersey, this is what your guy looks like. This is Craig. Again, I just think it's interesting. I'm slightly upset at myself because all this time I had no idea who these individuals were, who was holding these positions, these really powerful and important positions. Now, right now, none of them are up for election. So I think it's important for us to get to know them more and start creating our own little track record. So when election time come up, we can confidently, make a decision to say, hey, Sheila did a great job, or Taisha did a great job, or Stewart and Gerber did a great job, or maybe they didn't, right? But it's time that we take note and we get to know these people in these positions so we can hold them accountable. All right, that concludes part 1 of Rhett Table Talk 2020 Election Edition. Leave a comment, hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's free. Just hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more videos. I hope this was helpful. I had fun doing it. I learned a lot. We Rhetty TV, and we out.